Blog Talk Radio.
Last night I saw a lunar eclipse in the sky. Then something happened in my mind's eye. I saw you in a whole different light. Clearly, really, it's not that I want you to change. It's more that I want you to stay the same.
Oh, and I really do want you to stay the same. I'd like you to stay right here with me for the next hour. I'm Bonnie D. Graham, a.k.a. Radio Red, with a little bit of highlighting going on. I love it. They told me it would work, and frankly, it does. And our show is called Read My Lips. Darrell Knoch, and I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. And Darrell, I've got you coming on right now. Hi, Darrell. How are you? This is Bonnie. Welcome.
I am awesome. How are you doing?
Hey, Darrell.
How are you, Darrell?
Hey.
This is Old Friends Week here. You were all on my line at the same time at the National Publicity Summit a couple of weeks ago. It was October. God, it was half a month ago. I can't believe it. By the way, happy Halloween to everyone. I hope it is full of treats and no tricks where you're living, and I hope everybody's safe. So, Darrell, you heard, I know you've been on the line listening. You heard their story. You probably remember some of it when you met them in person in New York. Any comments? I know you're into self-esteem and confidence and doing what you need to do and breaking free of patterns and expectations and realizing all kinds of wonderful things. So any comments you have about what we just heard?
Well, it does take a lot of guts to make that decision, and that, certainly is self-confidence in what they were about to take on. So I'm not sure that I would have the guts to go out to Costa Rica and go to the jungle, but, everybody has their thing.
That's true. Well, you've certainly done your share. I'm pulling up your e-book now, and your e-book is Mastering a Healthy Self-Image, the Guidebook to Real Happiness and Enormous Success. Darrell, pronounce your last name for me. Did I get it right?
No, but close.
Well,
it's actually pronounced Knoch, as if you spelled it N-O-K-E, cope with an N.
I will put that down in my notes. I apologize. I always like to ask and be corrected if I deserve it. Now, I'm going to ask Laura and Glenn to stay on with us and listen, and we'll be talking to them at some point during your interview, Darrell Knoch. And I want to make sure that I'm sure they'll have some things to say. So, Darrell, low self-esteem, miserable childhood, one of 7 children, brutally abusive father, mother with very little education, trying to keep you all together. Accident disfigures you. You end up being the laughingstock of your class. Your nose is kind of flattened out, and you've got absolutely nothing going for you, kid. So how did you get to be a business success, a confident man who's teaching other people how to have a healthy self-image? You want to give us the overview of how you went from A to that long stretch to Z?
I sure would. The first thing is my mother was a very disciplined person, and so she gave me that foundation stone. And the second thing is she told me all my life, even though I had the issues that I had, you can do anything you want to do if you're willing to work hard enough to get it. And she told me I was special and that I could. That uniqueness of my disfigured face was I was special and that I was going to do something great when I grew up.
Well, that certainly is an empowering statement instead of, hey, you rotten kid, you're just going to never have anything. So she believed in you. There was your first clue, that your mom believed in you. As little as she had to give you, she believed in you. And wouldn't you say that was the greatest gift of all?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like you said earlier, I did get a lot of ribbing when I was in school, but I believe that gave me even more determination, so to speak, to say I am going to be something in life and I'm going to show those people. Maybe that gave me that little bit of determination to do that.
I think it gave you a lot. I want to tell you a little side story here. I was recently at a friend's house watching their fish tank, which is a great big, 50-gallon something, right in front of the breakfast counter. and we're having breakfast, and I'm watching a little red and black fish come nose-diving down, and right in front of him or her was one of those sucker fishes that leaches onto the glass. I'm sure you've all seen them. They're not very pretty fish, and this leech fish is just sucking the algae off the glass. Well, this little red tiny thing starts knocking at the sucker fish because the sucker fish is adhered to the glass by his mouth suction. He is going over in 5-degree increments, going from a vertical position to down, 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 down. So the little red fish is knocking this fish that's 3 times its size, and I'm thinking, this is a damn bully. And the fish is ending up horizontal, the sucker fish, but he has never let go of the glass. And as soon as the red fish goes away, the other fish goes, bick, 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 and rights himself right back up to his original position. Well, the little red fish didn't like it at all. So he comes back and he goes, knock, 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 knock. And the sucker fish goes, bum, 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 bum. Anyway, I took a video of this 2 weeks ago, and I posted it on YouTube. Nobody knows about it. It's called Bully Fish Story. So if you want to go to YouTube, I put it out under my Twitter name of Radio Red 777. It's even got the Sunday morning show's audio underneath it. I didn't even clean it up. But it's so adorable. So as I'm listening to you, Darrell, I'm thinking of you're the sucker fish that's saying, I'm going to hang on for dear life, and you can knock me over as many times as you want, and I'm just going to keep getting back up. Is that you, Darrell Knoch?
You can count on it.
Okay. I'm listening to you. I'm reading your book.
I had the good fortune of when I was 24 years old, I started my first company. It was a manufacturing company. I happened to design some products that went along with the wood stove industry. I sort of got lucky at the right time, right place at the right time. And I remember putting an SBA loan package together. I'm 24. Yeah. I'm going to put a manufacturing company together that I've never done before in my life.
Amazing.
I went to the Small Business Development Center, and the gentleman said to me, they're never going to give you this loan. You're 24 years old. You've never had any manufacturing experience. You've never had any distribution experience. They're never going to give you that loan. And I looked him in the eye, and I said, Pete, I'm going to get that loan, and you can either get on board and help me get that loan, or you get out of my way because I will run you over.
Wow.
24 years old.
Wow. And 24 years old coming from your background, you're disadvantaged, disenfranchised, oh, my God, who am I and what am I going to do with my life? That takes a lot of guts. Now, your older brother played a part in helping you read a lot, in helping you learn about self-esteem. You want to give us a little background on your brother?
Absolutely. I'm the youngest of 7, as you mentioned. He is approximately 21 years older than I am.
Okay.
So at the age of 21, he turned my life around by giving me a set of Zig Ziglar tapes. And I remember listening to those Zig Ziglar tapes and thinking to myself, I can remember back of how negative I remember myself being. And within the first 10 minutes of reading that book or listening to the tapes, I thought, I'm never going to listen to this thing all the way through. And Zig Ziglar said, you need to listen to this 16 times in order to get the value out of it. And I said, well, I'm never going to listen to it 16 times. But by the time I was done with the first hour of tape, I knew that I would, and I knew it was going to change my life. And so I immersed myself in feeding my mind good, healthy, solid information.
Now, Darrell, I'm going to quote your book, page 2. You said something I found very profound and very iconic of the message you're bearing and you're carrying to people. You say, for most of us, the job of covering up all the garbage that has been dumped into our minds and bodies takes a reasonable amount of time. It all starts with the choice we make every day. Will we continue down the negative path we know, or will we feed our mind with positive education, change our mindset, and start down a new road? If you choose a positive path, you will have a more dynamic outlook on your life from that day forward. So this sounds to me like this is your encapsulation of everything you've learned.